So like, I go to this cafe once a week, or at least I did. Ugh. It's not a regular cafe though, it's a gaming cafe. Because I'm cool like that. It's got all these cabinets in there of old arcade games, like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Donkey Kong, Rampage, just all the classics that you could possibly imagine. All of them are wonderfully restored pieces from the original hardware too. Also, yes, it is so loud in there sometimes. I don't go there for the cabinets though. I play D&D sessions organised by friends there. You know, because I'm cool like that. And where I usually sit, I have this cabinet of Dig Dug right in front of me that's always going through its demo screen. You know, the little demonstration of how the game is played that arcade games play when sitting idle. I think it catches my eye because my dad had an arcade game collection on the PC back when I was a kid. Dig Dug was part of it, and man, I loved it. Gallagher and Mappy as well. So I end up staring at it a lot. And D&D takes a while to play, you know? And I've done a few of these sessions, so I've seen this cabinet play out innumerable times at this point. But in that time, I've slowly come to realise just how genius those demo screens are. I feel like I'm able to see the method behind why the game plays out in such a specific way every single time in these demo screens. And that's what I want to talk about today. What do you mean my character died? Yes, of course I was paying attention. So, Dig Dug. I'm recording this from Bandai Namco's Steam version, but the demo is the same as the arcade cabinet. It also has these funky borders around it, which honestly are kind of big and in the way, but we can deal, I suppose. So, picture it. You're in the arcade, and Dig Dug wants you to pop in your coins and give it a go. How does it convince you to do that? Sure, this logo thing is cool, but it's not going to convince anyone, you know? It's the 80s. Hyperactive children with excessive allowances aren't just going to give their money away. So, how do you convince them? Begin the game demonstration. Purpose number 1. Teaching you how to play.
No shit!
Okay, listen, this is the most obvious purpose of these screens, sure, but it is important nonetheless. Besides, I really wonder how many people watching actually know how to play Dig Dug. Not to mention who at the time knew how to play Dig Dug. These old arcade games could be about anything. Shooting aliens, eating pellets, whatever the hell Cuba is doing. So yeah, you do need to tell people what the purpose of your game is. Dig Dug has 2 different demo screens it cycles through. One which feels like it introduces you to the game, and the other we'll touch on later. Upon starting, we immediately see our stalwart hero Dig Dug dig! He goes straight through the dirt and up to see this puka. These are called pukas. The game told you about them earlier, after the logo. The dragons here are called Figars too. There are only 2 enemies. There wasn't much memory back then. Do you know how much space that logo probably took up? Dig Dug has a unique weapon for dealing with these fiends. An inflation pump. So we get to see how that is used to take out enemies. When attached, we stay still to pump it, then they grow until boom! And we get some points. This is also trying to sell you the novelty of overinflating enemies to defeat them, like it's an old cartoon or something. Which maybe was cool in 1982, though nowadays it really makes me think I shouldn't search Dig Dug on DeviantArt. So if our objective is to dig and eliminate monsters, well, isn't that kind of easy? We just come into their holes and kill them, no questions asked, like an American police officer? But now the game shows off the thing that puts a spanner in the works. You see a puka on the other side of the screen turn into a floating pair of eyes, and he can pass through the dirt to go to other places. Now it turns into a chase. You can see our hero being pursued. Oh no! And look, another enemy is coming too. It'd be dangerous to sit still and use the pump. So now we see the next clever thing the player can do. We can move underneath this rock, then it wobbles as we leave it, and splat! We squash the puka. A way to take down enemies while remaining mobile. A trap we can set up in the chase. Oh, our hero is so chuffed, he does a victory lap around the whole stage. Look at him go! Man, it's a good job that all that dirt doesn't come down on him. But what about that second screen? Purpose number 2. Showing you advanced tactics. Showing tricky and clever things you can do outside of the basics incentivizes the people who know how to play already to try again and use new strategies to improve their score. Remember, these machines weren't asking for one go. They were asking for all of your change back in the day. You need to show yourself off to new and returning players alike. So the second screen shows you a bunch of clever tricks you can pull. It's the same level, but this time we go in the opposite direction. We don't even break into another creature's hole. Instead, we dig straight down. Then, when all these enemies start coming for us, we go up. But we're surrounded. How are we supposed to get out of this? Dig Dug then uses his pump on both enemies coming to him, but he doesn't completely inflate either of them, and then he just passes by the oversized pukas completely unharmed. You've just seen that you can use the pump to stun enemies as well as kill them, which can be used to make quick getaways. But then, Dig Dug does it once again to the third enemy coming after him. Only this time, it's not to get past, but to keep the enemy in place, so that they can go up to the top and drop a rock on all three of them. Yeah, you bet that's worth a lot of points. You can also see that this hit an enemy who was about to pass through the dirt, but got caught just in time, telling you that enemies are not invincible in that state. You could get them if you're quick enough. This screen also comes with a little warning too. You see them trying to catch a Fygar with an incredibly obvious trap. Once he starts coming up the tunnel, we loose the rocks and... oh, he turned away. It seems the enemies aren't completely stupid. They can suss out if you're up to something, and that rock might not hit its mark on the clever thinkers. The last thing this screen shows you is the obligatory food items that give you a bunch of points. Here, a mushroom. These appear after you drop so many rocks in a level. So, Dig Dug goes to get it, and oh no! Look out, Dig Dug! Oh no, he died. Which brings me on to purpose number 3. Can you do better? Both of these demo screens end with Dig Dug dying, and it always comes down to a mistake that was made by the demo's player. We saw the greedy mushroom fiasco that was there in the second screen, and in the first screen, we see a similar situation. We're being actively chased by a puka, but we go to grab the mushroom anyway, and we're trying to get away, but alas, they catch up to us, and we die. As well as also teaching us that enemies are faster than us, doesn't that make you want to do better? Like, if they had just turned around earlier and used the pump when there was some distance, surely they could have made it. You can actually see that Dig Dug turns around at the last second as if to use the pump. Oh, but it was too late for him. The gap was too small, and he gets got. Moving back to the second screen, you can actually see that the dragon stops chasing Dig Dug for just a half second before breathing its fire. That could have been an opportunity to use the pump then. Oh, doesn't it make you want to show this arcade cabinet how to really play the game? There's even smaller mistakes present. You remember the Fygar outsmarting the Rockfall gambit earlier, but in the first screen, a puka does something similar. We try to loose these rocks while being chased. You see him react to the rock and just avoid that dangerous path, then go on to kill the player. You gave him that alternate path earlier on in the run around the Rockfall. You have to dig smart around here. These tunnels aren't just for you. And as if all that wasn't enough to get the blood boiling under these 80s arcade goers, after both of these deaths, the game smash cuts to the high scores. It taunts you, asking if you can do better than these chumps. Mine are just the default ones right now, but obviously I had to go and play this straight away, and embarrassingly, I did absolutely trash the first time. Oh, but I was close to that high score, so I tried again, and much, much better. Oh yeah! Look, I even got far enough to end up at a different looking stage. Oh, now I'm the game's advertisement to all the people around me. I got up to this funny looking stage. Beat the world record? I mean, that's a little presumptuous, but I guess I'm hot shit, so I'll have a look and oh no, we're not doing that. I focused entirely on Dig Dug here, but these techniques, these patterns, they're present in other arcade games of the era too. Look at Galaga, where the player gets a second ship to fight with, but at another time gets captured themselves. Look here in Pac-Man, happily chomping on ghosts before a single mistake means that the ghosts chomp on him. Actually, do the ghosts eat him? What do they do with him? It may seem I'm overanalyzing just small things about these games here, but those demos were designed with a purpose. They play out exactly the same way every single time. They had to attract attention and win people over to become the titans of the arcades. Be more eye-catching than the entire room of flashing lights and ringing bells. And everything they did almost entirely wordlessly, showing you things that can be done in this game rather than just telling you. I mean, look at how much unnecessary text is here in Gauntlet. Yeah, this is another one I've looked at while in that cafe. I mean, the game's fine, I just don't think it needed to do all this. Why, Gauntlet? Why? Okay, but why bring all this up now then? Why focus on something so specific from a time which has long passed, and its legacy is quickly, and sadly, becoming only a memory? Well, what if I told you can see these exact tricks, this exact method of enticing consumers in a lot of modern games too. Specific ones. Ones that you might have seen on this very website.
Nice!
Yeah, these stupid, annoying advertisements to mobile games that don't even look like they actually exist follow this exact mindset. Just super condensed and much, much more blunt. First, the player succeeds in their first obstacle, and they celebrate their genius. But then they make a mistake, an obvious one, and fall into despair. And you, the audience, can probably see exactly where they went wrong. And it might just light up that little fire in your brain to maybe try this game out yourself. You're sure you can do better. Download from the App Store now! Except, I believe in you. Please don't waste your time. You're better than whatever this stupid nonsense is. God, I really hope they weren't advertising just before this video. These are the ways in which your brain is influenced to want to do things, and it's interesting that the methods in which they're done haven't really changed in 40 years. That's right, Dig Dug is 40 years old this year, and at least Dig Dug had the decency to have a real and fun game underneath its clever demo screen. Go play it yourself sometime. See why it lasts even today. Oh my god, look at all these mobile adverts. I've had to watch so many of these for this video. Remember when people were saying that mobile gaming was the future? that they said that it was gonna kill PC and console games.
Oh no, it's worse than I thought.